watch what grows. And when I'm through, oh, why not have a go? Take your time, steady in. You can do it right, Shoshie can. Enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, oh, why not have a go? Oh, we paint miniatures. We paint miniatures. We paint miniatures. Turn on tuning, hear all I say, but watch it real closely, enjoy your stay. You'll see me painting from up above, and if you like it, give it mad love. Take your time, steady in. You can do it right, Shoshie can. Enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, oh, why not have a go? Take your time, steady in. You can do it right, Shoshie can. Enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, oh, why not have a go? We paint miniatures. 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 We paint miniatures.
Hello, it's Shoshie and we are live and I have my headphones like on top of my beanie. Hello, welcome. Hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. Looks like you can. Good, good, good. We're painting Winter Solstice Lucy on winter solstice. Today is winter solstice, so if you celebrate that or if you observe it, or I mean it's the day whether or not you celebrate it or not, because it's the time where from here on out we get more light on the planet, on our hemisphere of the planet. And then, of course, my Australian friends will get less light from here on out. So it's really cool for me because I also have seasonal affective disorder, and this way, more light is always better. And I actually have to say, this year I'm doing really well, I think. Hi, Matt. How are you? Hello. All right, let's look at the model. We'll get started. I'm going to turn this music down just a skosh because I think I don't know, is it loud for you? Hi, Steven. How are you? Yeah, I'm excited for this too. Let's see if I can turn this music down just a skosh. It's a little bit loud. There we go. That's better. Is that better or is that too soft? Okay. I think I can turn it on my headset down a little bit too, so it's not as low for you guys. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's look at the model. So we all know that I hate painting the backs of the models on stream, so I went ahead and I pre-painted a little bit to kind of get an idea. Now, let me show you the box art. The box art has Lucy with the blue hair. It's kind of like colors are all over the place, to be honest. It's Christmas colors here. We've got orange, we've got blue, we've got yellow, we've got purple. I get it, but it's too much. I'm gonna limit this palette and we're gonna go for a true solstice palette, which I'm very excited about because I think you'll find it very pretty. I'm gonna show you the pictures that I found. Bear with me here. I also have some really cool stuff to show you because I got the concept art back from my Librarian demon. And I want to show that to you as well because I'm very, very excited about that. Where's my pictures? Did I delete them? I hope I didn't delete them. Sometimes I delete stuff off my phone before I'm ready to get rid of it. Oh, I think I did. Nope, there they are. All right, check this out. Overhead. So these are the kind of color palette that I'm looking at. These like teal blues. There's a little bit of kind of an orangey color. Hello, Will. How are you? Yay. There's some more of that, again, teal blue, that kind of cinnamony color. Then we've got this sort of, I don't know what that is. That's some kind of berry. And then a sage. These are the colors. So this kind of tomato colored red, that's a pomegranate, but it's like this tomato red. Oh, and then there's this guy, which I thought was very cool as well. So these are the colors that I'm going to be working with Lucy, and I started out painting her cloak, and it's kind of this tomato red, and then this, again, this kind of teal green. So let's mix up some of our colors. I've got my monument burnt red, and I know I added some oranges and stuff to that. Oh, of course, it's all plugged. Well, Bateleur, 2 seconds in, and I got stuff thrown on the floor already. All right, here, I think I can turn this little light on. I don't know if it's gonna make it a little bit, hopefully that won't cast some bad shadows. All right, that's the beginning of my red. I have to mix all these colors because none of them come out of the bottle. And here's my burnt orange. And I do need a little bit of orangey orange. And I need red as well. Just put this back over here. So we've got the beginning of our colors we're gonna mix. I did wait 2 seconds, that's true. I know. All right, got my paper towel. And we're gonna get our brush and our water. I got my little yogurt dish. Actually, I think it was like a creme brulee dish. This is my base color right here. And then I'm going to add some of this orange to there. It's already that kind of tomato red. And then a little bit of this over here. We're going to kind of make a little thing and then add a little bit of this on the side here. Yep. So somewhere in there. So there's my little kind of strip that I'll be drawing from. That doesn't look, here, let me get rid of that shape. I don't want to get censored by accidentally painting shapes of anatomy. All right, let me find a brush. Here's a nice big, this is a nice big full brush. This is a Monument Klinsky 4. And I'm going to start by painting the inside of her cloak with a little bit more of this, a little bit more orangey than red, because we can layer the red on later as a shadow, right? Now I filled in the, see this big old, can you see that big old line? There's like a line in there. I filled it with some Bondic. I'm going to add just a skosh of green because I had a green as my kind of desaturated part where it turned into a shadow. This is black green. See if I can get it to come out. There. And I'm going to get out some other green, dark camo green. See, we're going to make our sages. I forgot to make all my sage colors as well. How's everybody been? Are you anxious for your Christmas holiday? I am all done with my holidays. It's so nice to be kind of done all early. All right, let's take a little bit of this green here. What happens when I mix? Okay, we get that brown color. That's okay. We're going to mix that. Nope. I need to add more of this. There we go. I'm just kind of trying to get this paint in there because once I have it, it'll be a whole lot easier to get the rest and wet blend. Wet blending is pretty much how I did the back of that cloak. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. Get the funny angles on the stream. Add a little bit of green in there. I don't know if I like that. Just being really careful because I don't want to get any paint on her skin. Because it is going to be much easier to cover something that is light with a dark color than it will be to cover the lighter skin with a light color, right? Once you mess up that light color, it's so hard to recover. This is why we paint from light to dark. No, dark to light. Dark to light. Light to dark is hard. Okay. I'm going to just get in there. I think I lost my music. Hold on, let me check. Either that or it just has a... No, it just has a long outro, I think. A really long outro. We'll just skip it there. There we go. Okay. Oh, look at it. It's already kind of framing her this really nice. All right, so we can see her lanterns back there. I'm just going to go over here and grab some of this orange. Ugh, it's already got some on the lantern. I'm going to pull this out for a second because I need more control. Trying to get in here. There we go. We're getting it. And again, wet blending into the other colors. Oh, this is so crazy, scary. Yeah, I'm getting it all over her lantern. Let me see. Luckily, I think the lantern's going to be black, so we can easily cover. This is why we're painting this way from inside out. All right, now I'm going to get a smaller brush because I need the control. See that I added some brown. Okay, that's probably as good as I can get it for now. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna add a little bit more orange in here. Just blending it into the wet paint already. I love wet blending, it's so fast. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Now, letting that dry. I feel like I need another brush that has more of a fluffiness to it. I guess this is just smoothing out, because once it dries, it's going to have that. Oh, it's picking up the paint. Dang it. There we go. That's better. That's much better. Uh-oh, that's a little bit wiggly. Oh my goodness. I did get some on her under her arm, but luckily her arm is going to be kind of this probably brown or black. All right, while this is drying, I want to show you. I'm going to turn this music down just a skosh again, or switch songs. Let's see, can we skip songs? There we go. All right, take a look. I'm gonna switch cameras also so you can see. Oh no, actually, so I want to show you two things. We were working on the Demon Librarian, and I was not happy with the original design. And so I'm going to show you what the original design looks like. Here is the original design for the Demon Librarian. And he's okay. He's just, I don't know, there's just no oomph, right? It just doesn't really do anything. The color palette I like is pretty, it's nice. I just don't feel like he feels like a librarian. So I went back to my illustrator, and yes, sometimes you have to do this when you're doing concept art. You have to get more than one done. And so I went ahead and I spent the money because I want to do it right. And oh my gosh, I am so much happier because I went over all of the things that I wanted to make him look more like a librarian. And this is what we came up with, and I love it. He just needs a tail, and I think I'm gonna give him glasses in the concept art, and then this bookshelf will probably be available as part of this, like a sculpt add-on maybe. And then he's also going to probably have an alternate head, so you can have a choice between glasses or no glasses. But I wanted people, because here's the thing. My idea was that men in fantasy and in miniatures are almost never depicted as intelligent unless they are wizened old men. And not only that, but you almost never see sexy intelligence. Never, never. I can't think of anything. So that's what I'm trying to convey with the demon. And of course a little naughtiness because he's a demon. A little cheekiness. In fact, the cheeky title that I'm thinking of is going to be Shh, or I Will Be Forced to Remove You. I like that. That's kind of my working title. And again, I'm going to let the patrons vote to see what they want. I'll be putting up a poll. I'm not sure when yet. I mean, I need to put up the concept art first. All barbarians and wizards. Barbarians, wait, all barbarians and wizards are intelligent? I'm so confused. Barbarians are not sexy to women. When you ask women what they think of as sexy, we don't come up with Conan or barbarians. That's what men find sexy. So this whole line of miniatures is female gaze. And as far as wizards, yeah, wizards are the only thing you ever see that is depicted as intelligent. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I mean, you'd think that guys would like to see other, I don't know, maybe it's the nerdiness is kind of shunned in fantasy. But here's the thing, as a female nerd, I find nerdiness sexy. So I want to see that in my models. Male depictions in fantasy. Yeah, all barbarians and wizards. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We do see some that aren't, but it really is barbarians, wizards, and fighters. That's about it. So I'm really, okay, let's go back to this model here. But yeah, I'm really happy with them. All right, let's do her hair. See this beautiful teal color? This is those sages that I was talking about. So we're gonna mix that, and we've got our greens already over here. We're gonna start heading toward the blue. That's what teal is. It's just green on the blue side of green, rather than and then sage is actually a little bit of yellow, but also some desaturated green. So there'd be a little bit of red in it as well. Okay, come on out. There we go. Yes. And I think, what if I added some ivory? Well, we've got olive flesh. We need that, like that warm gray that they use. This is it. Bright neutral gray is what it's called. And I'll use that to desaturate things if I need to. Because it's got a little bit of, I think it's got a little black in it, or a little bit of something. And then I've got this blue black. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. No, well, I'll put a little bit on the palette of the blue black. We can always add some green to it and see what happens to it. All right, let's mix our sage color over here. And mix some of this with this. Oh, very pretty already, right off the bat. Add a little bit more green. Add a little bit of this, see what happens. There we go, boom. Oh, you guys can't see. So here we go, we've got our kind of teal blue-green. I can add a little bit more green over here. The blue-black green. There we go, that's much more. All right, I'm gonna start with this on her hair. And I'm gonna take my glasses off for this. And I'm just gonna start covering. I think I need a little bit more desaturation and start just seeing what happens when I go pastel with it. Yeah, ooh, cat hair. Okay, so we're gonna start with this green on top. And what I'll end up doing is we'll highlight, oh, we need to go darker because we need those dark shadows. Let's add some of this. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we'll add our highlights after the fact. I'm gonna thin this out some, it's a little bit thick. So I've kind of been talking about my mission statement. So this first series of models is all going to be about male emotion and male beauty. Because we literally don't see those things in the model hobby industry. We we see a little bit of emotion once in a while, but it's like anger or stoicism. And then when it comes to, I'm going to add a little bit of this gray over here to just blue it up underneath. Oh yeah, that's very pretty. And then we see, do we see male beauty? Extremely rarely. I mean, I could probably count the number of models on one hand where we've seen beautiful, beautiful men. And obviously beauty is in the eye of the beholder. One of our models that I'm going to be producing is going to be like a slender emo crow boy, because we definitely want to have showcase different body types. We're going to have a kind of like a dad bod rugby player slash, you know, bulky guy in as a orc. And everybody's going to have sort of like a kind of a theme or a job or some kind of other thing. So it's not just like a whole story, basically. A very narrative sculpts. Yeah, that's perfect. Narrative sculpts. Kingdom Death does that. And I don't have a problem with that. I think there's a place, especially in this boutique style of marketing, for the narrative, because we don't have to have generic minis. So I don't know if you noticed, but her crown, which is also looks like reindeer horns, is a set of hands. And in Kingdom Death, hands are all over the place. They are kind of like a thing. What are they? They're like a parasitic, I don't want to do too many spoilers, but they're like a parasitic creature that exists in Kingdom Death. Getting these little details right here. I'm accidentally painting a little bit over that star. That's okay. The thing with this hair is so textured that I want to get in there and make sure that I get all the little white spots. And of course the spots where I got some red. Isn't this color palette already really pretty? I like it. I was looking online and a lot of people are painting Winer Solstice Lucy right now. And I saw everybody's kind of doing off the box art, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to do something else. Let's see what, and then that's what gave me the idea, is like she is Winer Solstice. Why don't we try painting her in solstice colors? I need more blue black over here. Okay, this is tricky. This brush is not, it's a little bit not springy. I need it to be a little bit more springy. And I don't know if you can see, but there's these little rows of curls, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to approach those rows to make it look like actual hair. This is tricky around her face. I don't want to get any Normally I think I would paint the face first. But there is some, you know, some stuff under here that I need to get at. I think she might be a good candidate for sub-assemble. I think sub-assemble, sub-painting, if that makes sense. Like, maybe don't paint her all put together. I don't know. She might be actually harder. Very carefully going by her cheek. I will be selling her when I get done. And I'm positive, I mean, I already know people who want her, so she will be very sought after. All right, there we go. And then we've got her leggings, her little, she's got these leggings. I'm going to water down my paint just a little bit so that I can easily, I might need to switch brushes too. This is a Monument brush, and I might need to go over to my Game Envy. They were a little bit springier than this is. It's one reason why I don't really sponsor brushes, because they're so, you know, from person to person, it's such a personalized thing. All right, I'm going to show you a trick. Watch this. So if I want to paint an area and I don't want to like take forever painting it, I'm going to go around the edge of where it meets the next color or the next material, however you want to describe it, and I'm painting all around the outline. I'm going to go carefully. So I'm spending a lot of time carefully basically making my quote-unquote coloring book lines. This brush is not pointing. See that? Okay, last little line right there. So you can see I've got all that space now. And then I can take my color and look at how fast I can go in between now. And you can use this technique for any kind of coloring that exists. You can use it for painting, for using markers, for using crayons, anything. I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm just going to go around my outline carefully. And I learned this from, it's actually a book called Drawing with Children, and it was how to teach children and adults how to draw. And it would use these techniques to basically teach how to color in a fast, efficient way. Okay, that looks awesome. Where else does she have green? She has green on her chest as well. So I'm going to use the darkest teal that I've got. And I've already kind of painted the gray on there for the primer. And that was just to give me a nice base. Is there too much light on her? Are you guys able to see her okay? Let me put my glasses on and see if you can see okay. Okay, it looks like you can. Yeah. I feel like my lighting is kind of eh. Also, her face is kind of blinding because it's not painted yet. Add a little water. It's awkward because she's a big model, and this holder I think is gonna be best for a smaller model. And I don't know if you noticed, but see how I kind of tap the paint in where I need it? Because sometimes a full brush stroke is difficult to get into a hard to reach place. Oh, I can see there's a little spot back there that I can see that I can't reach. I'm just gonna leave it. Normally if we prime black, that all kind of disappears into the shadows anyway, so but I primed gray. So hopefully I can figure out a way to get back there later. All right, let me go back under here because there is there. That's perfect. So I'm going to draw in my outline, drawing it in with the brush. And this is a really good way to kind of practice freehand as well. You can practice making straight lines by making your outlines like this. It's also a really good way to practice brush control. Okay, I'm flipping her around this way. Notice I'm turning the model, not the brush. Whoops. Getting hard to reach spots. Okay. What is everybody's dinner plans? I am going to probably make a mussels in a white wine sauce for my husband. They're really easy. It's really easy to make. And it's really healthy as far as like there's not a lot of calories in mussels. Since our holidays are over, we're kind of trying to rein it in already because Mike's birthday, my birthday, Hanukkah, all of these holidays kind of one on top of the other. You eat like a lot. All right, that looks pretty good. She looks solsticey. And I'm going to lighten things up and pastel a little bit. But first, I want to get more of my base coats in. Let's do her undies. What is she? Oh, my palette. I need more paint on my palette. There we go. A little bit more orange. You can see me mix that out. Okay. Need more red. Flip. Trying to cover that gray primer. You know, again with the black, you would be leaving maybe a little bit of a line, and it would actually seem like it would look like a drop shadow. With the gray, I don't know if it does that. Cute. Okay, I'm gonna quickly take her off screen and paint the crotchal bits because I don't want to do that on screen. It's rude and lewd. Oy. So I got paint on the inside of her legs, so I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out my brush real quick and feather that in. There we go. That's not bad, actually. Okay. Here's a little bit on the inside of her thigh there. We can actually turn that into a little shadow on the inside of her leg if it's thin enough. Okay. Now, let me look at the box art. Her gloves are also red. Kind of trying to paint, let me see something. Yeah, her boots are also red. Ooh, this is being a little bit hydrophobic. I'm not sure why. That primer is. So what I'll do is I'll just paint a layer and then let it dry as best I can. Let me add some more paint to it. That helped. I don't know what color her heels are, but I think I'm going to make them that cinnamon color we talked about. I'm just going to go around all the way. More orange. Okay, that looks nice. A little bit more red in there. Covering the toes. Okay, that does look really nice. Okay, letting that dry. Everything is drying a little bit darker. That's okay. That's something you have to kind of figure in. Let me see something. Okay. Grabbing this, I'm going to add a little bit of more of this warm red on her hands. I guess it's warm. It's still kind of cold. I don't know. Basically, it'll dry your eye a little bit though. And again, painting all around the edges of the things. More warm red, blood red, or burnt red. Burnt red is what I meant to say. There we go. There's a little spot right under her hand that I'm going to have to get paint on that rope she's holding. Cute. See if we can do this one. There's a nice big cat hair on her. Ah! I'm trying to start with some of the harder areas now. Start in the backs of the, and then work my way to the front where it's a lot easier. Oh, I need to put some Bondic. Can you see where her, there's a mold line. Mold line, I guess it's not a mold line, it's where her hand attaches. I'll have to go in and fix that after the fact. I'll show you something. With Bondic, you can paint right over it almost immediately. So, hold on, I want to show you. Let's see if I have a thing of Bondic here. Chicken and chips. Oh, that sounds very good. Chicken and chips. All right, here's my Bondic and some cat hair with it. Ah. And I'm just going to put a little bead, if I can get any out of this thing. There we go. And just kind of smooth it around. Then I go with my light, my UV light. And it will, you can kind of see how it's lighting up. That'll harden, and then I can go straight with the paint right over it, and it's like it didn't even have a crack. And remember, it's not a glue, so you can't use it to glue things together, but you can use it as a weld. So if light can reach it, then you can cure it. And then we can paint right over the top of that, because it's instantly cured. That is what I love Bondic for those kinds of fixes. Okay, she's gonna, back here on the back, I'm gonna grab my bigger brush. I'm gonna grab some oranges, and I'm gonna highlight up here. Already kind of orangey, so I'm going to grab some of this red instead. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Anywhere these folds of fabric come up is kind of what I'm highlighting them with. Now, so I've got my very smudgy trying to wet blend this again. Let me grab this burnt red. See if I can't wet blend that in a little bit. We need to add a little bit of green. Too much green. Haha. There we go. Now it'll wet blend right nice into that shadowed area that I made brown. Pretty. Okay. Now, again, I want to go more, let's start working on her face a little bit, because I've got blocked in a bunch of my colors, and now I want to see where to go from there. Yeah, let's do her face. So I need a good brush. I need a Game Envy brush here. Let's get a new one. Or maybe these are Bomb Wicks. Okay, these are Bomb Wicks. They're fine. They're brand new. That one doesn't look so good. Let's see. This one's good. Oopsie. Okay. Oh, I accidentally had the little plastic tube. Always, whenever you get a brand new brush, there's a little bit of starch on it, and you don't ever want to break that starch. You want to wet it first and then dissolve it, because otherwise you could end up damaging the hairs on your brush. Okay, so I'm looking at her face, and I'm also going to look at this, and there's some colors here. I need some peaches. I'm going to use this pink. This is a really pale pink. I'm going to use ivory as a highlight as well. And here's some pale yellow, actually. We'll just put a little bit of that on there. We'll probably need the ivory more than anything. This is bright ivory. This is going to have a little bit of yellow in it too. That needs to be unplugged. There. Oh yeah, that's going to be, I'm going to put a lot of that on there. Come on, it won't come out. There's a big chunk of dried paint on the inside of this that keeps clogging it. I'm trying to fish it out. There we go. Woo! Too much now. Ha! All right. That's going to be plenty of ivory. Let's put some of this tan flesh. It's going to be probably my shade. That's going to be a shade color probably. We can always go a little bit. That is not my new brush. Here it is. All right. I got 2 new brushes right here. All right, first thing I need to shade down, so I'm going to take a little bit of this burnt red and some of this color to kind of make a rosy, and maybe a little bit of green because I want to desaturate that into a little bit. And this is going to be kind of tedious, so I will do the best I can to explain what I'm doing, but it's going to be a little bit slow and a little bit tedious, and all I'm doing is kind of shading these volumes a little bit where she's got shadows, a little bit more green. So instead of doing my Verdaccio as my base, I'm kind of just using that green in there as the beginning of my shadows. And painting it in as I go. Okay, back to my peachy. Now, because I want to keep a lot of her light skin, I'm going to add some ivory. I'm really trying to control how much paint gets used. I want to really avoid using too much paint on her face because it's really going to cake up quickly. All right, so for her eyes, I'm going to mix some of this brown that I've already made. Let me look at her eyeballs. Here, yeah. And we're just going to cover the whole socket of her eye with this brown. It's going to be bigger than her actual eye. It's going to be weird looking at first. And you need to make sure the paint is fairly thin. Because again, with the caking, you don't want to add too much. Alright, so we've got a nice little panda bear going on. I'm going to go ahead and shade underneath her nose. In the makeup world, we call all this contouring. We're basically contouring her shades to start. I overdid it some. I'm going to put a little bit, I'm going to lighten this up with some of this peachy color. See if we're defining the face here. Gonna grab some more of this, a little bit of peachy. Careful, I need to make a little bit more peachy. And on the sides of her cheeks, next to her hair, she needs a little shadow here. All right, ivory. And I'm going to add some of this pink onto her cheeks. It's going to be really careful because that's the funny thing about pink. It's real easy to get a tea stain, right? We don't want tea stain cheeks, but she might end up with them. We'll see. I'm really thinning this out with water so that I can control how much to layer under her face. And a little bit of this pink on the end of her nose. Too much. So I can pick it back up with the end of my brush. I know she looks like a hot mess. Trust me. We're gonna get her there. Okay, now I'm blending in that harsh line that was just over her brow bone here. There we go, that's better. And down the top of her nose. Now I'm kind of almost like sculpting. You're just pulling in the under eyes. That's better. It's a little bit bright for me. So these paints are not behaving how I want them to. They look very sedimentary on her face. So I'm gonna kind of switch things up. I'm gonna go with the Reaper instead. This is Reaper Rosy Highlights. It's got, yeah, that's a good color. That'll be a nice base color for her. All right, let me look at chat. I see some things. Is this similar to what you would do with, yeah, it is. Well, yeah, exactly, it is. I would do it with pastels with BJDs, but yeah, it's very similar. Nice, nice noticing that. Don't know how many people know that I used to be in the BJD hobby. All right, so her lips. Let's go back to her lips with this pink color. Let me look at this box art. She's got very neutral colored lips. I think I need to add some medium. Let me add some, that's technical well, we can try adding technical contrast medium. Let's see what happens. Might be just what it needs. Oop, that's yellow. Whoops. The medium will hopefully smooth things out a little bit. Yes, it's better. Looks like a clown at the moment, but I'm gonna add layers. So I don't know if you can see, but what I've done here is I've kind of worn away a little hole on her face. And that's probably because I need to let it dry a little bit more. That's not bad. It's getting there. We need to let it dry. Sometimes just let it dry, come back to it, see if you can mess with it some more. Let's add some of this Reaper. I'm going to add my red color to this Reaper. See if I can make, there we go, a pink color. That's nice. I actually like that. Now what is missing is she needs kind of a dark line under her lip. So I'm going to mix a brown real quick here. Hold on, let me put my glasses on. I'm going to take my brown here and my green. See if I can't make a little bit of a dark. Ooh, there we go. That's nice and dark. I added just a little bit of this teal to this brown. All right. That's good. That looks really nice. I'm going to give her a little like dimples on the sides of her because she's kind of an anime. A little bit of a dimple. This brush is almost too pointy for that. Okay. I'm going back in. I need the medium. I need some other medium. Let's see what we can use. Anti-shine. I could probably use, here, wait, this is it. Here we go. Slow dry. That's probably what I want. Slow dry will help me with the matte colors, kind of, because these light pastels, they all have white in them. And I can thin it as well. There we go. Here she comes. That is looking cute as heck. I think I just erased one of her little dimples. This brush has a very, very pointy tip. There we go. And I'm using some of this brown on the edge of her face because anywhere her face is going to be touching that green, it's going to go kind of deeper into shadow, right? So specifically around her face, we want to give that depth. So she's not 100% an anime character. So underneath the star that's on her head there, we're going to give some dark lining. so that it doesn't look like it's attached to her head, so it looks like it's separate. See that? Oh, I got brown on her face. No! It's gonna be tricky to cover. So when you do that, when you mess up, let it dry, do a little layer, let it dry. Okay. Let it dry. I'm gonna add a little bit more just to that paint color. Very, very pretty. I'm really enjoying her. All right, now take a little yellow. This is that bright yellow. I'm gonna do this on the spots that I want to really kind of pop out and highlight, like on the bridge of her nose. Does she have any upper? She does have a very slight anime style upper lip, so I'm gonna give that to her right now. That's gonna be tricky. You pretty much have to draw it on. Wait. If you don't succeed, try again. Alright, I don't hate it. I need some ivory. This peach. There's always like a little highlight, kind of a little. Just give that little highlight to the bottom lip, and then I'm going to come back with the peachy color and just knock it down just a little bit. That's good. That looks nice. All right, where's my yellow? Okay, I'm going to put some under her eyes. We're highlighting. This is very tough, very difficult to stream. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my peachy color and layer that over the top so it still doesn't have that bright yellow all the time. All right, let me do her eyes. She's got blue eyes, which I'm not sure if I want to do. Let me look at my little Santa Claus picture that I had. Or was it Santa Claus or St. Nicholas? I don't know who he was. He's got brown eyes. Well, we could do that cinnamon color like I said. Let's try that. Especially since we already have brown. I'm going to come in here and re-outline the eyes with the brown. Now it's not the whole socket, it's just the eyes. This is tricky because again, it's so small. We're getting somewhere though. She does look like a little doll already. Let me get some of that pink and a little bit of this there. That medium really made a difference. All right, I see some spots where I could use a little bit of my shadow color back here. Remember when we left that alone and now we can come back and cover it again. Just a little bit each time, let it dry each time. There, don't try to cover it all at once because you will just cake it up. All right, back to my green because it looks like I lost some of her hair a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Notice I put a little brown. Okay. All right, now for her eyes, let's see what happens when we go with this turquoise and we add some of this yellow to it. Oh, that is very pretty. I love that color. So we need to start dark. We're gonna use, I'm gonna actually get some black in here, maybe. Oh no, I'm gonna use this charred brown from Reaper. I want a dark color, but I don't want black. Oops, there's a lot of this stuff at the top. Give it a good shake. There we go. Charred brown. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm going to cover again her eyes. The whole socket is going to be nice and dark and crisp as well. So pretty. Do you look at that, how much her face came together just in those few minutes? It's kind of crazy. And push some of this brown into the deep recesses of her hair. I'm going to add a little bit of this red to that charred brown to harmonize. Whenever you add a new color, add a color that you've already been using and it will always be harmonious. Okay, green, green, green. Mixing these two colors together now to make that kind of darker desaturated green. I just accidentally put the gray into it and messed it all up. Ah. Okay, let me try again. There we go, that's pretty. That's almost like, so when you mix teal and this like burnt red color, you actually get a very, very pretty kind of purpley color. And like I said, I'm going to push this into the recesses of her hair. Not everywhere, but in some of them. This is what we call painting down, because I don't have any darks already. I need to make sure to get my contrast by putting those in. And underneath this crown, we want to have the darks, because there's all that beautiful shadow. Look at, it's already like, boom, it's doing it. Add some greens in here to wet blend this in. Because if I can see the red too much, then it's not right. You don't want too much red. I'm just trying to establish some of my shadows. This music is perfect. It's chill, serene. Ah, there we go. There's my purple. Needs more green. And I'm not really particularly painting real technically, you know, because what I'm going to do after this, after I get these highlights in here, is get in there with some dry brushing. Not dry brushing, wet brushing, but you'll see. I love her face. Okay, now this is where we need a little bit of ivory for the whites of her eyes. We don't want to use, and I want to make sure my brush is completely clean. We don't want to use white for the whites of her eyes because they'll get too... now I definitely need some slow dry because... Now, unfortunately, this particular sculpt has the pupils sculpted in, so I don't know how it's gonna change how I paint. We'll see. But I want to paint that little ivory oval in there with a little slow dry on my brush, so that way it doesn't cake and it doesn't go where I don't want it to go. I'm flipping her whenever I need to turn her. Very nice. So now she's got like a little bit of eyeliner. That looks good to me. I'm going to give her some green eyebrows after I get this done. I want this beautiful bright blue pupil, but I need to start with the darkest blue pupil first. Let me look at her eyes on the box. Okay, so if I want to make sure that her eyes are symmetrical, line up right, I'm going to flip her upside down, and if it looks okay to me upside down, which it doesn't, then I'm good to go. So I just need to touch. I'm going to show you some tricks to painting eyes here in a second. All right, I'm going to leave that be. All right, I want to show you something. Let me do a face cam. All right. I don't know if you can see my eye. Here, I'll draw it out so you can see this. All right, this is the steps. Yeah, I don't like it when they sculpt the eye either. All right, so here's our eye. We had that, imagine this is completely black, and then we paint our oval on the inside. I don't know if I can zoom in on that anymore. I don't think I can. Anyway, so then I'm painting my circle, and it's a semicircle. It's gonna go all the way to the bottom. It's gonna rest on the bottom lid, and it's gonna be covered by the top lid because there's an eyeball underneath there, right? So when your eyeball is actually kind of shaped like this with the sclera here, this part is the part that's resting up against the eye, right? Here's the bottom lid. Does that make sense? And then you've got your eyelashes here. And your nose. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this is spherical, so we need to make it look kind of, you're giving the illusion something 2D is kind of popping out. And then you're going to do, if you can do this, you're going to do a pupil, same, and then there's a little ding highlight. Here's the pupil, right? And the ding highlight. That's very, very rough. So I got her eyes in pretty good. She looks really cute. She looks really alive now. Let's see what happens when we make that bright turquoise teal. Let's add a little bit of the slow dry to it because I don't want it to dry on me too fast. And I'm gonna try, oh, this is the wrong brush for that. We're gonna take this teal and I'm just going to make a circle inside of the circle that is already there as best as I can. And because I guess it's already sculpted, it's kind of going into the little pool pretty easily, which is nice. That's really nice. And because it's that bright teal, it shows up really well. Very pretty. Okay, I'm going to add some, just add this desaturated color here. Add some of this gray. This is where I need a very small dry brush. This is sort of a homemade dry brush. I took a old nasty brush. I'm going to see if this is going to work any. Probably won't. Anyway, what I want to do here, I just want to hit, actually it is working okay. I'm just going to do little circles to hit that hair with the highlight. See how that looks. Oh, that looks really pretty. I kind of have to wipe some of it off because you don't want to put too much on there, right? Yeah, that is going to be absolutely lovely. Lovely Lucy. And you can see all those shadows are kind of fading into the back. It's absolutely perfect. And I'm just starting with that first color, right? And I will go back and pick out more highlights later. Boy, she started out a hot mess, and I'm really liking her now. I need more of this pretty. There we go. Load up my brush and then wipe some of it off so I don't get too much on there. There, I added some more of that teal, right? Getting that teal color back in there. Anytime you have a really highly textured surface, I love to dry brush on texture because it always works. It's like, and it's really like not difficult. All right, we got that back in there. We got some of that saturated color back in there. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and do her face. We're gonna just go back to that kind of her. I don't know what to do about her horns. I think I'm gonna, let's go to the references and see kind of like that cinnamon color for her horns. We'll just go into the orangey colors to contrast that blue hair, right? Add just a little bit of teal to that. Let's see what I get. Nope, that turned green. Ugh. There we go. Cinnamon. Let me add a little bit of this yellow over here. I kind of like that. That's pretty. That's like cinnamon toast. Let's add some more orange back in. I don't hate that. Let me... Let's try to add some burnt charred brown in there and see what happens. There, yeah, I actually like that better. Yeah, that's it. Got a big old brush for these fingers. And hopefully I won't mangle it. Now this is my base color. I'm gonna end up adding some more colors. That's nice actually. That brown is pretty. I don't recommend using a giant brush like this if you don't have a lot of brush control. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, let's do this. See, we're getting into that solstice mood. Whoa, here we go with the metal. I don't know if this is the right. I might skip this because I don't know if this is the right part of the model to be doing to metal. We'll try it. I gotta look at something. Okay, that's some kind of weird extra thumb. Ugh. Okay, that's very pretty. Now I'm going to take some of this orangey color and layer that a little bit, again wet blending, onto the ends of the fingers. It's pretty. Okay, let look at her crown. That's like yellow. I'm gonna look at my palette again. Hang on. Da-da-da-da. So we do have some yellows, but it's like a it's a very desaturated pastel yellow. It's almost like a creamy, yeah. There's very little yellow in my palette. So we're gonna stay away from yellow. I might see how I can desaturate out this orange. What happens if we keep adding ivory to this orange? I can add a little yellow to it. There we go. That's not bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep painting into this sort of like a little creamsicle color. And remember, oh, that is very pretty. It's because it's got that orange in it, it's contrasting so pretty up against that blue green. See? Oh, that's gorgeous. Let me look at her here. Okay. I love it. Oh my goodness. All right, so then in her eyeballs, I need her little pupils. Her little brown, let's do brown pupil. Because she's got the pupil already in there. It actually is pretty easy to do. Now I'm going to do the little ding dot and her light in her eye. And I always try to do them on both the sides. That she needs little freckles, little tiny little freckles. So stinking cute, guys. I love her. Okay, green eyebrows. And her eyebrows are kind of already on the sculpt, very thin and dainty. And use a little bit of this to cover up. I messed up her eyebrow a little bit. Oh my God, I can't believe I painted this. Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture of you so you can see her really well, okay? Hold on. I can already tell that she's going to probably go viral. Okay. All right, take a look at this picture. Can you guys see her face real well? Isn't that adorable? With the little freckles, you can see the little freckles. Cute as heck. Heckin' cute. Got a little dry paint on my brush. There we go. Post in the comments what you think. Did you get to see her? All right. I'm gonna do a little of this brown. A little outliney. Super cute. I'll do these little Christmas dangle dangles on her ears. We can make these a little bit brighter, maybe. Solstice, I should say, not Christmas, solstice. I love it. Okay, I'm going to go back to that peachy color that I did. This is all going to be like as a substitute for my gold. Somehow it got thinned out. Oh, it got into the, I see what it did. The paint got too thin because it got into the slow dry. So I'll fix that. Okay, we're going to go a little bit more red into the red on our burnt red over here. And just hit some of the highlights on the bauble. I'm going to add a little bit of orange to the highlight on her cape. Whew, I don't want to touch everything that's... Go back into my burnt red and a little bit of green, a little bit of green, a little bit of burnt red. And just kind of wet blend that orange in. See, that one dried too quickly. Do the burnt red. That'll be a step down. There we go. Oh, I love it. I can just already see how she's going to start to look. That cinnamon color. What color is cinnamon? It's like a brownish, orangish. Okay. So let's go into this color right here. We're going to add some of the charred brown. That's good. Okay, and I'm going to paint her sleeves in this charred cinnamon brown. That's pretty. Here's the thing. If you've got a really good color palette, you can get away with not being the greatest technical painter because people will still really like the colors. That is facts. I am not a technical painter by any means, and I live by color. Oh, I love it. And I'm gonna do her legs. Kind of want to go a little toward the charred brown on her legs. Let's add a little bit more charred brown, see what happens. Yeah, no, it's a little green. Ugh. What happens? There's just enough of something in this brown, not maybe enough blue, that it's tilting the brown a little bit green. That's better. Remember to go back to that outline technique I showed you. And I'm going to probably highlight that a little bit with that orange, just a smidge, so that it feels like it's that toasty color, cinnamon. Okay, let's see what happens when we add some of this orange to it. Oh, I actually like that. Let's do that. Yas, look at that pretty color. It's kind of poopy colored. I don't know. I'm gonna have to adjust it. Let's add some of this to it. That might be better. Yeah, it needed that to bring it back from that, because there's more yellow. That's what we don't have. We don't have yellow. So we've got to be careful about how much of that orange that we add without desaturating it, because we don't have yellow in this scheme, and that particular orange had a lot more yellow in it. This orange has a lot more red in it. I'm gonna let that dry because I'm not happy exactly with it yet. It's getting there. Might have to go a darker brown actually and just stay with it. This could be the underpainting of the darker brown, potentially. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. It's too orange. I'm gonna have to do my brown. I'll let it dry though. Yeah, it looks better when I go back to the dark. Let me see what you guys have to say. Awesome. Hi, Linda B. I think that's my mom. That's so funny. My mom watches me stream. Yeah, I'm gonna let that completely dry because I think the orange is still tinting it a little bit. I don't wanna, oh no! Oh my God, I dropped her in thankfully dry paint, so nothing, only got on her hand a little bit. And on her, well, her hands, but that's about it. Holy cow, guys, scared me. Okay, that's an easy fix. But a little bit of a heart attack on my part. Oh my goodness. It actually, the brown paint on this hand went straight into the crevices of her fingers, so that actually works out fine. Oi! Throwing things around, Bachelor. Gotta have throwing things around every time, right? All right, I'm gonna shake this charred brown up a lot. There we go. This looks like it's dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and layer that. Yeah, that's actually pretty. I really like that charred brown actually. With the little bit of that warm orange underneath, it kind of still has, it brings some warmth to it. Okay, I'm gonna let that be. I'm gonna go back into my greens. I need to desaturate that a smidge. I'm gonna add a little tiny bit of brown to it and see what happens. Yeah, it kind of goes gray on me a little bit, so that's good. All right, so a little bit of slow dry in there. Now we're going to paint the highlights of some of these parts here. Very pretty. I love that teal so much. Let me go in here with some of this gray. What happens when I do this around the edge of her face? We really can kind of bring the attention to her face. pretty. Let's add a little bit of this to this. So now we're going to go in and hit the tops of these curls. This is with that bright teal. This is my over brushing. It's similar to dry brushing, but you've got wet paint. And I'm really focusing on the stuff at the very top of these curls with the lightest color here. I'm going to add a little yellow to this, just a little bit of yellow to brighten. Yellow brightens, the gray will desaturate. See how that just pops? She looks like a living doll. Let's add a little this yellow in here. A little bit more yellow, just to see what happens here. I need to slow dry on this because this is being finicky and brushy. So this is almost, I want to make this almost like a little bit non-metallic metal in a way. Some contrast. Let's add some more yellow. I need the what? There we go. A little bit of that slow dry. Nope. Got some on her boob. No. We don't want green boobs. I'm gonna have to cover that somehow. Let's see. We can add a little bit of the ivory and highlight, because I haven't really painted the skin on her body too much yet. Not happy with it. Let's try doing another layer of the peach on top. See, this is what I mean about when you make a mistake, it's so much harder to cover lighter areas. All right, we'll leave it like that and let it dry and see if we can come back to it. Okay, we can go back and paint this thingy. All right. She's got lots of little stars hanging. What are they? They are all yellow. We're gonna go orange. This orangey tangerine color that we did. Doing mine. Rocking out. Oh, you can't even see me because for some reason I erased my little face cam. That's a bummer. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put that back. Okay, that's getting better. I'm so psyched about her face, guys. So psyched. What time is it? It is 3:55. We're good. We got another hour. No, wait, actually, this is about when I usually quit. So let's do some gray on her, like what this is, whatever this is called. This is like fur ruff. I'm going to start out with kind of desaturating, obviously. I'm painting gray, covering up a bunch of my little mistakes over here too. Nice, gray is nice and opaque. Covers up all that. Let's get a little bit of slow dry in that. So much pastels. It's really hard to paint with pastels if you don't have some slow dry medium or something to keep it from going chalky on you. Oh, we've got this little fur butt cover thing over here. That's really cute. This is a nice kind of cool gray that's right here. I think this is all, it's not all cool colors. We've got cold and warm. I think the red is warm, but the hair is cool. Or is it a warm, I don't even know. Okay, let's do the beginnings of our So I'm using that peachy color again to start out on my fur. I'm just kind of like over brushing it, right? But when I do my last highlights, it's going to be that cream ivory color. Harmonious, harmonious, harmonious. See how that's looking? You need a little slow dry on that. All right. I should have gone all over the gray with that first. Let's do that. Well, this should be the gray first. Cover up that primer. You can use primer as a paint, but make it look like you did it very purposefully if you're going to do it. Okay, so there's the beginnings of my fur. I'm going to show you what this is going to look like with my ivory before I go. Again, framing her face with that ivory to really bring that up there. And then I can kind of just overbrush it over the main areas, just like that. Isn't that pretty? So you can get an idea of where I'm going to be going with this. And I'm probably going to, don't know if I'm going to do another stream with her. Because I don't know, I might just want to paint her some more the way it's going. Let's do this little bright ivory. Let's do ivory in her little stars. See what happens. Yeah, that brings your eye even closer to her face because that's even lighter. Bam. I like that a lot. All right, guys, I think this is where I'm going to call it. I'm going to take another picture and show you so you can see. So there she is. Much easier to see. Super cute. I think I'm going to adjust probably that star a little bit, at least the one on her chest. I like the one on her forehead, but I need to mess with it a little bit. All right, let me see here. You never seen it before, thanks. It didn't, at least it didn't end up on the floor. Yeah, most of the glazing is transparent. It is most of it glazing. I think that actually quite a bit of it is kind of opaque, Bettelor, because because I used the pastels, and that I did add a little bit of the medium to keep it from caking up too badly. But we'll see. All right, let me go ahead and switch over to my end screen. Hold on a second. Get rid of this discordant. There we go. Thanks again. I will be posting more up on the Patreon, so take a look later this week.